Getting there. Next year. I enjoy working with young people. There's an enthusiasm in their spirit. Their dreams have not been whipped out of them. They believe in themselves and have a tremendous confidence, and Tye is like that. He came to the set, he was totally prepared, and we just went right into it. It wasn't a whole lot of discussion. I think we just trusted each other. We worked that out right off the bat, so it was easy, and it was actually a hell of a lot of fun in the whole experience.
We have time for just a couple more questions. I'm going to go to the woman on the aisle.
Hi. I thought it was an interesting portrait of failed hypermasculinity in a failing USA. Can you talk a little bit about your political visions related to that?
I think this question would be for David. In the film, there's a theme about the failure of hypermasculinity, and given some of what's going on in the States right now, could you maybe discuss that a little bit?
I don't know that it's a story of the failure of hypermasculinity. I think it's the challenge of masculinity, and particularly in the region of the South. Again, I credit a lot of that to Larry Brown's novel. One of the things that I really identified was the struggles of fatherhood, not only a blood father, but I think the dynamic between Nick and Tye is very much a story of fatherhood and role models, and how these can invigorate or reflect someone or the energy. You can look to someone for whatever strength and guidance, and it's a story of redemption, and it's a story of a man looking at his own life with some concerns and questions, and able to bring a strange kind of violent value to a kid walking the fence of good and bad. So to me, masculinity has always been something I've explored in movies, and I always kind of look at all of my films as buddy movies for some reason, like the odd couple dynamic of Joe and Gary, and then how they relate to the world around them, and how they fit into their own culture and their own skin, and the awkwardness of that. So it's every movie I've worked on, I can kind of see as a buddy movie or a coming of age story, and everyone's adolescent, just trying to kind of fight through their own new puberty. As far as a political portrait, I looked at this movie kind of like a Western, like a contemporary Western. There's obviously some mythical parallels you could draw. I didn't really look at it from any sort of political perspective in terms of America in this day and age. It was a novel written more than 20 years ago, and I don't think times have changed that much, particularly within the struggle of the portrait of the people that we're painting here. You could look at this and it could take place in the 1880s, and it wouldn't be too much different. And there's a lot of people who still live like that. Most of these locations are not far from my home, and just places that if you look a little left or under the covers or behind the tree, you can kind of see elements of nature and elements of man and masculinity that I'm interested in exploring with the camera.
Okay, one more question, dead center.
This is a question for David. A number of your films have a fairly unique relationship to the American South. I was wondering, in the way that some authors might be considered regional authors, do you consider yourself a regional filmmaker?
The question was, a lot of your films have a connection to the deep American South, and then some authors might be considered regional. Do you consider yourself sort of focusing on that region?
I don't. I made a movie in Canada, and I'm really proud of my experience in Halifax. And mixed all the road girls here in Toronto with Deluxe. I use the medium of film in the industry to explore the world, and I've been really fortunate to have extensive travels and journeys, but also be able to go home from time to time and make something that is a little bit more personal. So I may make something as outrageous as like the TV series Eastbound and Down that I work on, and that's just another way to go. Fuck around with your friends in North Carolina, and other times it's nice to